Hello again everybody, this is Zach Rollins of Zach Rollins Guitar Lessons, and today in this video I want to give a quick breakdown of how I make these open string licks in this video and offer some ways to explain them in such a way so that you can learn how to make some open string licks of your own. So to start with the first lick, it's a pretty typical product of how I approach making open string licks. So the first 6 notes are You'll notice that I'm using a lot of hybrid picking, especially on the open strings. That's just a textural option that I use. If you are good at string skipping and you just want to use your pick, that is also an option. Just in a lot of these examples, I'll be using hybrid picking for textural reasons. So to explain it from a pentatonic scale point of view, the first 6 notes could be played in this way. However, to get that different texture, we need to figure out which of these strings or these frets have an equivalent pitch on the open strings. So on the very first one, what would be the 14th fret, the B on the 14th fret of the 5 string, we have the equivalent pitch here on the open B string or the open 2 string. And then we can start to get more of an open legato sound by using hammer-ons. Another one we have here on the 14th fret of the 4 string, the E has an equivalent pitch, of course, on the open E, or the open 1 string. And as the lick goes on, so there's another one where we could have gone from the 12 to the 11 on the pull-off. But here you'll notice we have another equivalent pitch, again on the B, the open B. Just the same as it was here, it's also the same here. So we get another open sound and open texture there. And the last 2 open strings that are used are in this lick where we pull off from the 14 to the 12 on the 5 string, and then we hybrid pick the open string, and here on the 5 string again we pull off from the 9 to the 7 and play the equivalent pitch of this 5th fret on the open D and finish out the lick. So the second lick uses a lot of open strings, but it also uses a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs. We start off with the open string on the open G, hammer-on from the 4 to the 6, transition to another open string, which I hybrid pick, and then bend on the 8. The next use of the open string is another pull-off from we hammer on the 10 to the 12 on the 2 string, and then pull off from the 10 to the 1. Now on this one I usually just use the pick, but again, if you like hybrid picking or using your fingers, you can pick this one, but for this one I just liked the texture of the pick in particular, so it's a personal preference. So after you do that, the next part is very heavy on the hammer-ons and pull-offs. So we have a pull-off starting from the 3rd fret to the open 1, and then start a pull-off on the 3rd fret of the 2 string to the open, hammering on to the 1, transitioning to the open G, hammering on to the 4, half-step bend, up and down, pull off to the 2. last sequence in this lick is another hammer-on and pull-off heavy sequence, where we start on the first fret of the 4th string, hammering onto the 2, picking the open G, then just pulling off 2, 1, 0. And then in that same rhythmic kind of grouping, we do a hammer-on from the 3 to the 5 on the 5th string, then picking the open D, and then again pull off all the way down, 5, 3, 0. So we have, on the last part it's just sliding from the 3 to the 5. So that last part is just a pretty basic usage of these equivalent pitches that you have on the 5th frets from the 6, 5, 4, and 3 string. If you wanted to exaggerate that even more, instead of doing the chromatic bit that I used in the original lick, you could pull off from the 2 to the 5. Make use of those open equivalent strings. So the last lick is a good example of just how to use hammer-ons and pull-offs to run an open scale on an open string. So we're in the G minor pentatonic to start out. So right there we're just going up the G minor pentatonic, starting from that open D to the root, ending on the bend. Then the next chord is F major, so we're going to go to the G string to pick out some notes that reflect that chord, like this A right here on the 2nd fret, and this C on the 5th fret, and then bending into the root note. Then the next chord is an E flat major. And this one I went a little outside the box and started on this pull off from the 8 to the 7, and then used the open G to reflect that major 3rd. Sliding from the E flat up to the F, back down to the E flat, and then the major 3rd again on the G, ending on the minor 3rd, back on the root of that G minor pentatonic. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and if you'd like to keep up with this series or any of my other technique or tutorial videos, then make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, and feel free to leave any comments below with any topics that you might want me to cover in the future. Happy playing!